Hello everyone and welcome back to day 3 of Nationals in Canberra. We are currently doing the pod live in the square of the accommodation, so if you hear any background noise we may have a little bit of an audience, but you know, I think that makes our guests more accountable for their answers, so hopefully we're going to see some good off-the-cuff stuff. Kailani, you look a little bit nervous. Yeah. Anyway, I am with... Introduce yourself.
Jonathan. I'm part of the men's... I was about to say... beach volleyball, indoor volleyball team. Very transferable to bowling, weirdly enough. Yeah. Both have balls, both are on wooden floors.
That's about the only.
The pins are the same colours as the antenna.
Any metallic barriers on a volleyball court?
No metallic barriers.
Okay, just mental ones.
Just mental ones, yeah.
I'm Kailani Hillier from bowling, or 10-pin bowling.
Nice. And I think we should start this off by congratulating you on your performance today.
Thank you.
And I believe you guys, RMIT got the pennant, didn't
Yes,
they?
we did, finally.
And could you explain the pennant to people who might not understand what it stands for or what it means?
It's just like the overall championship.
Overall championship. Yeah. Awesome. Was this expected? Were you confident going in?
Not entirely, but we were... What? I was not confident. No. Cooper was, obviously.
Cooper heckling from the sidelines on the podcast, just by the way.
No, because we won all the gold medals last year and didn't get the pennant, so you can't be too confident.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, so it's an overall medals kind of tally?
Not quite.
Not quite.
You get points based on where you finish.
Okay.
So even though we got all the gold medals, because our other team didn't finish high enough, the team that got the pennant finished like 2nd, 3rd and 4th, so they ended up with more points towards the pennant.
Yeah, right, okay. Do you understand that?
I'm confused.
All right, well, my first official question that I've written down is, and this is good because this doesn't necessarily apply just to bowling, what have been your highlights from Nationals so far?
Taking cake over to volleyball every night.
We have a room. I'm not going to give out the name of the room.
Oh, really? The one time you're not going to give out the room number?
It's closed door for everyone. But every time Kailani shows up, she has a cake. Every single time she's walked through the door, just a different amount of cake. I don't know how you've pulled it off so many times in a row.
Yeah, watch out for tonight.
Okay, cake incoming. Jeez. And your favourite highlight?
Oh, so our first game was Melbourne Uni, and they won volleyball last year, right, okay. And half of our team sort of play with the same club as some of the Melbourne Uni guys, so it was an awesome game. Never have I missed a hit in volleyball and have been abused by the coach on the other team. So that was a highlight. Yeah,
you know the coach on the other team, though?
Yeah, we play with the coach on the other team.
Okay, he plays.
Yeah. So just like separate outside of RMIT.
I see. Okay. Okay, another question which kind of works for both here is, Kailani, we'll start with you. What has been the highest score out of any member of the bowling team so far at Nationals?
This year was 257.
257?
Was it? Yeah, 257 by Cooper. But the Uni Nationals record is 290, held by Cooper also from last year.
Out of a max of 300, yeah?
Correct.
Wow, 290. 290 last year, Cooper?
Yeah.
Damn, boy, okay.
Wow.
And what's been the either highest tally that you guys have scored, or not highest tally because it's a certain amount of points in volleyball, but what's been the biggest win that you've had so far?
Oh, the biggest win. Wow. So Melbourne Uni was like a really good game.
Yeah.
So that was probably our best win.
Okay.
We've had bigger wins, but against like lower teams in the ladder, so less satisfying.
Do we remember rough margin of the biggest win?
Oh, rough margin? I'm looking at Angus on the bench. 6. 14. Ooh. So 25-14.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's a decent lead. Beach volleyball takes the cake there.
Beach volleyball does?
Yeah, so they beat Bond University in one set 21-1.
Oh, wow.
And then 21-0.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference. But beach indoor volleyball is a bit more tamed. We haven't had those sort of margins.
Okay. I getcha. Which staff member, and this is again, it's for both sports, could compete the best in your respective sports from the staff members along on Nationals?
That's hard.
Yeah. Now, granted, you haven't got any tape, I'm sure of, unless you've got something in your back pocket of someone doing your chosen sport.
I'm going to say Sarah.
Sarah?
She's pretty tall. So on a women's volleyball court, she would dominate in the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to go the opposite and say Sophia because she's shorter and that's better for bowling.
Interesting. Yeah,
Really? Is being shorter better for bowling?
Yeah, because you need to get lower to the ground.
Oh, that's why I didn't do well myself.
If that's what I
During
was
the
just sleep at night.
Yeah. That's why. I'm going to claim it.
All right.
It's genetically not built for bowling.
All right.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be.
Never meant to be.
That's a shame. That's a shame. So I asked this question earlier while we were bowling, and I remember at the time you were like, how am I going to say this in a more simply or a more concise manner?
Yeah.
Have you thought about it? And could you explain how the points stack with strikes and spares in bowling?
Right. So spares stack points based on the next single shot, whether that be a strike or whether it just be like the first shot and then you end up sparing it, but it only counts for the first shot.
Yeah.
Strike counts for the next 2 shots, and so strikes can keep stacking on if you get doubles and whatnot to end up with 30 stacking points essentially.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Like, it makes so much sense to me.
Okay. To the normies.
Yeah. I don't know. Does it make sense or not?
I'm kind of with it. I might have to hear it another time later at the dinner, but
So it doubles, did you say?
Well,
It stacks.
But doubles or stack, like it works the same really.
Are there any? How do I put it? Are there any odd or weird little rules in volleyball that most people might not know of?
Oh, many.
Really?
Do you have your list?
I do.
Yeah. Pull it up.
I had a big notes.
We were
list.
presented with a long list of questions
Wait, I'll show
about
the
how
camera.
volleyball works.
That was my list.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Very, extensive.
Yeah, wow.
I watched 2 games and went, what is going on? So I just wrote them down and figured
What was
it
the
out.
most surprising answer that we gave you?
Let me look through the questions. Oh, I didn't realise that every player didn't have to play for an equal amount. Because when in high school we sort of just rotated equally, so I just assumed it was the same.
Yeah, so in high
Actually-
school, you rotate off the front court
Yeah.
onto the bench. You rotate
Yeah.
through the bench and onto serve.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Definitely not how normal
No, I
volleyball
didn't
is meant
realise
to
that.
work. Yeah.
Someone could play the whole game, or someone could play not at all that game.
Okay.
I did not realise that.
Yeah. When you were first getting into the sport, was there anything where you're like, why do we do this? Was there some technique stuff where you're just like...
Definitely technique stuff.
Yeah.
So as a taller player,
Yeah.
in high school,
Yep.
I was not taught technique because I was just taller than everyone else.
Okay, perfect.
Didn't have to play well.
Just jump.
And then this year I've been playing Premier League. And I've completely relearned the game.
Yeah, right,
From
okay.
scratch.
Wow,
so I've gone
wow.
2 steps back.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly starting to step forward again. So it's good.
Yeah. Would you have preferred getting into the sport, learning what you have now, or was the introduction that you had kind of necessary for your enjoyment of the game? And
Yeah, so it's interesting because at a high school level, you want just people to jump in the game, have fun, and technique might come later, because you're in a bigger group. So I think it's been not a bad introduction. COVID, I didn't play through COVID, so it was straight after high school for me.
Yeah.
COVID came in, and so I took those some bad habits throughout into Premier League, but fixing it up.
Okay. Refine everything. It's good. This is for you. At what age did you stop using the barriers in bowling? Because I'm going to be honest, I haven't bowled a lot. This is a bit of a guilty admission. I still may, on the other occasion, use the barriers.
I don't even remember. We started bowling 2010. Would have been maybe 3 years after. So, what's that? 12 years ago now?
Yeah.
That I stopped using. Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
Why are you using the gutters? It's just disappointing. The ramp. You fair game. The gutters, no. Use the ramp. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cooper, anything from you? Was it similar with the barriers?
Probably 5 years after it started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5
because he
years.
was. How old would he have been? 7? He would have been 7 when we started.
All right, so Cooper can't defend himself here, so you can slander him as much as you want. When you two bowl each other,
Yeah.
who comes out on top most of the time, and how competitive does it get?
No, he always comes out on top recently. Up until maybe 2016, 2017, I was better. And then he sort of just took off.
Is that when the barriers went down?
No, the barriers went down long before that. No, I'm just happy for him to bowl well, really, because most of the time we're bowling together for the same team. So I don't want him to bowl bad.
Yeah.
We push each other to bowl better.
Yeah. Do you prefer bowling in that team structure or singles?
Probably. I don't know. Single. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. I like singles because no one else is relying on me.
Yeah.
And I'm not relying on anyone else. But then being in teams or doubles, you have that other person to help lift you and push you to bowl better.
Yeah. Nice. And so when I was talking with Kurt a few podcasts ago, and we were discussing beach volleyball, how there's 2s and 4s at nationals, and then you can also play 6s, not at nationals but outside. In volleyball, do the numbers change as well? Is it 2s, 4s, 6s, or
No, so always 6 on the court.
always 6 on the court? Gotcha.
And technically, you sort of need 7 to play because you have a libero as well.
Oh right, okay.
And so 6 on the court.
Yeah.
You rotate through.
Yeah.
And you sub in and out based on how the game is going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Always
Wait,
6.
that's another question I have about volleyball now. I just thought of it. Is there a limit to how many people you can have on the bench?
Depending on the tournament.
Okay.
So you could have like a 12 limit or a 14 limit, depending on where you're
And
playing.
only 6 on. So you could have up to 8 on the bench.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, depending on where you're playing.
Right. Okay.
What's the coolest bowling alley you reckon that you've played in?
They're not really cool.
They're not cool. Has there ever been one where you're like, okay, I like this vibe more than most of the other bowling alleys I've played in?
There was a bowling alley in Preston. What's it called? The Keys. The Keys in Preston is like a really retro, vintage, vibe. It's really cool. It's not like, I don't think it's an accredited centre, but it's good for fun.
Yeah, okay. I might have to frequent. Do you want to come with me? Should we
I
go?
would. Yeah. What makes an accredited centre?
That's a great question.
Just like good, what's the word?
Just be better.
What's the word? Just like a good, what is the word?
Alleys.
Like good equipment,
Okay.
maintenance, lanes that are straight, like flat, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curvy lanes in bowling without barriers would be very difficult.
It's not necessarily curvy, but they have little bumps and
Okay.
it changes the oil, it changes,
Yeah. And for you, has there been a certain arena, is it called a court or a pitch? I mean, this is very basic answers.
Volleyball court.
Volleyball court, okay.
We were lucky enough to play at AIS this year
Oh, wow,
for a few
really?
games. Yeah, very good court. They've got like the synthetic court there,
Okay,
which is sort of what
okay.
you see. Not even in the Olympics actually this year.
Oh, wow, okay.
You see it in other international leagues.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
like the blue with the orange.
Yeah, okay.
It's a little bit
Okay.
softer.
Yeah.
Feels like you can jump higher. Definitely
really?
softer on the landing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Do we think you saying it feels like you can jump higher? It's a mental thing. You're like, okay, yeah, this is something
Probably
else.
a mental thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But what was interesting is at the AAS, you have like school groups doing tours.
Right.
So there's just like always a school group like over watching our game, and
Yeah,
they just rotate through.
Yeah.
So you're going up to serve.
Yeah.
And you're like 40 school kids watching you. It's a bit terrifying. Yeah.
Pressure on.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. Have we got a favourite film that either is about bowling or incorporates bowling, and the same with volleyball?
I don't think so.
Because the only one, when I was thinking of like, all right, what do I want to ask here is, I watched The Big Lebowski for the first time earlier this year.
The what?
The Big Lebowski.
No, I've not heard of that.
Watch it. It's a good film.
Okay.
It's a good film, and then bowling's a large part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, it's interesting. Okay, but not many films necessarily that you'd go to with bowling in it.
No.
That's fair enough.
No.
Well, it's an open market. If anyone wants to get into film, make a film about bowling. You could. Do you ever run into like interesting egos in the bowling world?
Oh yeah.
Like big time.
Yeah.
Right, that's film potential, I'm telling you, right there. No, not convinced.
There are people that they just try and get in your head a lot, and then there's
Yeah.
people that are completely just there to bowl in their zone. Don't focus on anyone else. But
Is there trash talk between lanes?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's like completely allowed.
Yeah,
Oh.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's
Just
no
verbally.
one
They verbally abuse each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
Literally. My junior coach was the worst for it. But he never taught us that because he didn't want us to be those sort of players.
Maybe I will try it for the team next year. That should be fun.
You rate your trash talk.
Trash talk in volleyball is very interesting because you're not really allowed to trash talk the other team directly.
Okay.
And you can like easily be carded for
Right,
it.
okay,
But what
okay.
you can do is
Yeah.
you can look at your own volleyball team and say, I'm not going to name the university, but a university we played yesterday was playing it, lying to the ref a little bit.
Okay.
And like you can turn to your own team and be like, oh, lucky at RMIT we're an honest university. Like, you can sort of just like have those underhanded comments, but not directed at the other team.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's good.
it's good English, like grammar, like lesson too. How can I direct this at the other team without actually directing it at the other team? Yeah.
Who's the best backhanded trash talk on the volleyball team?
Calvin.
Right, really?
Calvin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All over it.
You have to watch him play. He's a very short man.
Yeah.
But he can jump very high.
He has some good legs.
Like his thighs. His quad.
Really? Okay.
Massive.
Quadzilla.
Yeah.
Massive.
Massive.
He's not watching, but massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to go and see it at dinner. I'll be like, I need to see his legs.
But his celebrations are also the best.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cade is also good at the trash talk.
Yeah.
But almost like too directed.
Okay.
It's like it's edgy on that.
Yeah. On the line.
Yeah.
How does the card system work in volleyball?
So the main one that you see is like the yellow card. So that's just a warning.
Okay.
And then you have a red card,
Yep.
which is like losing a point.
Okay.
And then that's the most I've ever seen.
In hockey, if a player gets carded, they're off. Like you can't put someone else on in their place. You have to play down a player. Is that the same in volleyball or
I
not?
don't think so. I think you can just sub. Yeah.
There we go.
It's embarrassing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I was first reffing a Melbourne Uni game. They're going to watch this podcast and scrutinise everything I say, just like they scrutinised every call I made in their game. Yeah.
And circling back to the question on your chosen sport and films, is there anything with volleyball?
Oh, so haiku is big in
Yeah.
some teams.
Yeah.
I've only watched the first season.
I have not watched that. I've not
But
even
there's-
heard of it again.
Some teams reference it a lot. And
Where can I watch haiku?
I've got no idea.
Okay. All right, so I'll just go haiku illegal stream, see what I can find.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works. What else we got here? We've got... okay, well, now that 10 Pins wrapped up, what are you most looking forward to for the rest of your time here in Canberra?
Taking Rupert out to do all the challenges. We've got to take him out to the border and take him out to... what are they called? Landmarks. Yes. And we spotted a dead kangaroo, so we've ticked that one off.
Okay.
On the road.
With the dead kangaroo?
No, it was on the highway.
You don't just say that you've seen
I
something.
took a video. I took a video as we're going past, but it's a bit blurry. You'll have to let it count.
Yeah.
Surely.
Do you think there'd be any issue with Rupert going into the Houses of Parliament in a big costume, kind of
And sit in the speakers.
concealed?
No, I think they take everything off you. You're not allowed to go in there with anything.
Oh, poor Rupert.
Yeah.
Poor Rupert.
Poor Rupert. Yeah.
So Rupert might not get to meet a politician,
That's a shame.
unfortunately.
Maybe next election
Maybe.
we enter him into the running. Rupert for praise. Oh dear. That's where it's going off.
Yeah.
Okay, and for you, my friend, what are we most looking forward to for the rest of your time here?
Oh, so unfortunately we lost a very critical game that took us out of the finals, or the Div 1 finals at least. So we've got 2 more games. But supporting other sports is great fun.
Yeah.
So we watched the netball just before. That's where we've just come from.
Yeah.
That was good. That was great. Lacrosse as well. Awesome to watch.
Yeah. I still haven't managed to get to the game. I'd love to get to a game.
Yeah, it was good.
It's very
I think
intense.
One of the refs has to count how many, I think, seconds, how long they're holding the ball.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So she's just on the sideline, just yelling like 1, 2,
Oh.
3, just counting.
I've never noticed that.
It's like, I don't know how her voice has lasted a whole week.
Yeah, their voice is going to be hoarse as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the ball's going around, what's the pace? They're like, 1. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah. Also watched some of the ultimate frisbee. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
They self-adjudicate.
Yeah.
So something controversial will happen on the court. The team comes together and holds a meeting on the court. The captains are adjudicating the meeting.
Yeah.
They can bring in spectators to ask them what happened.
Wow.
They've
Have you fact-checked this?
I was there.
This is true because
Okay.
I've been meaning to get around and seeing this for myself.
Yeah, I was there. And then they can have so they can't have refs, but they can have game advisors on the team. They're on the bench. They can watch what happens and they can just go in and give their perspective.
Yeah,
on things.
right.
Yeah.
How long did the ultimate frisbee game kind of last? Then, if you're talking about these meetings happening and you kind of having to.
So I think it goes for 80 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's timed.
Okay.
I had to run off for volleyball, so I don't actually know what happened in the end.
That's a long game time.
That is.
It is, and it's a lot of running around. But they do these things where they swap the whole team off and sub at once.
Okay. Yeah. Big team numbers. How many are we talking? 7, 8 on a.
Definitely so. I think there's 7 on.
7 on.
And then I think it's at least sort of 14 in total. So they can swap the whole bench. But then they have other people. Yeah.
Combos.
Makes it accessible though, self-adjudicating.
Yeah,
you can just go to a field with 7 aside and play.
Yeah.
And even at the high level, they don't have refs, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Wow.
I was told if you're at a high level and you just make a wrong call, you just get abused. It's televised, so you get shamed.
It's a crazy sport. It's a crazy sport. I wonder how someone gets into it. What's the moment in your life where you're just ultimate frisbees for me?
Yeah.
Same for bowling. How do you know you're good at bowling?
It's a great question, actually.
When were you yes, I can play state representative and national representative bowling? When was that moment?
Wait, do you want it from the start?
Yeah,
okay.
I've been to strike and I've bowled. When do I know to actually take it seriously?
When you start not bowling at strike.
Oh, okay.
No one serious is bowling at strike.
I was very serious.
That's your first mistake there. No, we started out in a school holiday program that, they go to the movies, they go bowling.
Bowling where?
Not at strike.
Not at strike. Strike didn't exist back then. And then we just were we want to go back. So we went back on the weekend and we got approached and asked to join a league as 6 and 8-year-olds. And
so you got poached?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Cool.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Early scouting.
And then you just keep training, get your coaching, and eventually you move up into getting asked to trial for state teams. And from state teams, everyone knows you pretty much. So it's not hard to make it into Aussie level, in terms of being scouted. You still have to have the talent, which is, there's not a big jump from state to Aussie level, but enough.
And the ability to have exposure is quite good for the player base.
Yeah, as soon as you're on the state level, you're exposed to everyone and everyone knows you.
Okay. Is there a certain country which kind of holds the title as the bowling country?
Probably.
Is there a bowling World Cup? I'm sorry.
There is.
Okay.
America's probably
up there.
America and Sweden have some really good bowlers.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Australia does currently have the world #1 bowler.
Okay.
Is that still accurate? Jason Belmonte's #1. Yeah. He's held that title for a little while now, a couple of years.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Well, look, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I've kind of been doing a little thing here every time I've gotten a pod, just to, one, make you guys feel awkward and me feel great when I go back and edit this. But I like to ask the guests to do their own interpretation of how a redback spider would bite back.
Oh my God.
Using hand gestures. So literally the first thing that comes to your head at the camera.
Oh my God. You
hand
go
gestures.
first.
No, you go first.
No.
We go. Bite back. In quote marks.
What?
You can go with anything. I've seen. So I started doing this, and I was like, "That's not biting."
well,
What
That's
is
a
that?
butterfly.
Yeah, that's not a spider. What am I doing?
Well, we saw someone go bite back, and so it's bite back.
Start jumping. Just get
Yeah,
weird.
bite back.
Yeah, you want to go like that?
Bite back.
Yeah.
Can we do it to the camera?
Bite back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, guys. We've lost her.
Do you hear the metals clinking?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
background?
That's a flex.
So she said she was walking today. I was like, "Oh, these are so annoying. Too many of them."
He goes, "What are you going to talk about on the podcast?" And I was like, "These."
You were meant to give me one, so I feel less bad. Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work with this.
All right, with the microphone.
I'm sorry.
All right, my team media.
Maybe earn one and then you'll just get one.
Alrighty, guys. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us. And for everyone watching, we will see you again tomorrow for day 4 at Nationals.